Hey guys, so it's the Harris family here, slash just me, Cypress. Hey. So as you guys can tell from this title, I was 17 and pregnant before my senior year, and obviously my birthday's in September, so by September of my senior year, that's when I turned 18. So as I have right here, I have a baby memory keepsake. I guess I should start is how I found out. So this is why I feel like this video is fate, because Monday, July 10th, 2017 makes 4 years since I found out that I was pregnant. So whenever I had found out, my best friend at the time, she was pregnant herself, and no, I didn't try to get pregnant because my best friend was pregnant. It was one of those things where when you're sexually active, it ends up happening. Well, my best friend, she knew the signs and symptoms of what to look for when you're pregnant, and we would always walk around town all the time. We would seriously just scrape up some change just to run to Circle K to get a Circle K soda. So for me, what had started that day, I realized I was a couple days late from my period, and it wouldn't be the first time that had happened. I've had like a period a day or two late, no big deal, and I'd have a period the next day. I'd just start randomly sometimes, and obviously I did keep track at that time because I was pretty regular at that time. And me and my best friend, we would walk to Circle K, and that day she said I was acting kind of weird, and I should buy a pregnancy test just in case, just to make sure, even though I had before because I was late and I wasn't pregnant. So we went to Dollar Tree, and I bought just a Dollar Tree test, and we went back to her mom's house, and she stood there in the bathroom with me, just waiting with me, and sure enough, there was 2 lines. And also, nobody would know this, but July 10th is also my mother-in-law's birthday, and then July 17th is my husband's birthday. So I had found out a week before my husband's birthday that we were pregnant, and well, once I found out, I went straight to his dad's house that he stayed at, and I told him, I showed him the pregnancy test and everything, and obviously he was not yet 17, so he was still 16, and a week later he would be 17. So when I went over there to tell him, he was kind of nervous. He didn't want to tell his parents, this and that, and I understood. And I was the one that had to break it to my mom that I was pregnant. I had just found out, so I was freaking out, having a mini panic attack, because I was thinking numbers in my head. You know, about 9 months would have been March, so I would not have a baby before I would graduate, so that would be kind of hard on me. And I was realizing it then that I'm gonna have a baby in March. And so I told him, and he said, can you please give me some time so I can figure out how I should tell my dad, so and so. And I said, sure. I was like, make sure you at least tell him before your birthday, or at least by your birthday. So I at least gave him a week. For me, after that, after I told him, I went straight home and I had the pregnancy test. I think we just threw it away. I'm not for sure. I don't really remember. But I went into my mom's room and I just started crying. I don't know how she felt, but that's what I did. I came in there and I just started crying, and I feel like she just had that inkling that something was going on, and obviously I had something to tell her. So I did. I told her, and that time she just, I guess it was just something like kind of hard to wrap your mind around, that your 17-year-old, not yet high school graduate, was pregnant. And my mother was also a teen mom. She had me when she was 16. So for her, you know, it really upset her that, you know, I was going to be a teen mom. So for her, what she said is, just in case, what we should do is wait to get anything for the baby, because again, as her profession, she was RN at the time, she knew, you know, there was miscarriages and such like that. And for me, I didn't believe anything like that could happen to me, so I wasn't really worried, and I was like, okay, I'll just listen to what you say, not a big deal. And so at that time, I was obviously about 4 to 5 weeks, because I was just a few days late for my period. And so I went to our local hospital to go in to get checked, to try to get an ultrasound, that sort of stuff. And I still have the ultrasound. I have everything in this baby memory keepsake, which with that, my mom had said we're not going to get anything for the baby, so-and-so, until baby got here. I don't know what it was, but just after I had gotten the ultrasound, my mom, because she knew my best friend was pregnant, and she was like, do you guys want to go thrift store shopping? I said, sure, let's go. She said, do you want to invite your best friend? I said, yes. So we had invited my best friend, and we went thrift store shopping, and we came across this baby memory keepsake box, and she said that will come in handy, you know, whatever you want to keep it in the box, so on and so forth. And we also got some bouncy seats, we got baby mattress, we had went and looked at a crib, and she asked me, you know, should we get it, this and that. I said, no, you were right, we should just wait. And I just had, you know, kind of a cautious feeling. I just want to wait so we don't, you know, crowd up a whole room just in case. And so when I had gotten the ultrasound, I was, I think, 6 weeks at that time. I have 2 ultrasound pictures from baby number 1, and this is hard for me. I'm really trying not to cry. So like I had said, I had found out July 10th. I went in for an ultrasound 2 days after my husband's birthday. So you can see right here, July 19th, 2013. That's our first one. And here's the second one, baby, right here. I keep these, and you see they're still in a pretty great shape. I honestly feel like the last time I had opened this, I think I had put her little outfit my cousin had gotten for little peacock outfit for her newborn pictures. I have that in there too because I didn't want to lose it. And yeah, so those were the ultrasound pictures I had gotten from my first pregnancy. And I have all of my bracelets and everything from my babies. I kept everything because I had 2 miscarriages. And I'm also kind of gross. I kind of have his umbilical cord in here too. But that's just me. So how everything had happened, again, my mom had went, and we went thrift store shopping for baby stuff, and I think my mom had gotten my best friend a couple things, whatever she needed to, while we were there. And we came back home, you know, I put everything up, and so I didn't have another appointment to check up with the baby or anything, no ultrasound after that until August. And when we went in there, the tech asked my husband, do you want to find the baby's heart, you know, such and such, and they used a fetal Doppler. At that time I was 3 months, I think, 3 to 4, somewhere in there, and he got the fetal Doppler out. There was no ultrasound yet, so we just used the fetal Doppler to find the heartbeat, and he went across it, and we didn't hear anything. Sorry. And they said, oh, don't worry, it's sometimes hard to find the heartbeat the first time. So I wasn't worried. I was like, oh, he's just not knowing what he's doing. So they went out and they got one of their computer ultrasound equipment, and they brought it into the room. And she had, you know, went ahead and ran over my stomach, put the jelly on, all the good stuff. And sure enough, I looked at the ultrasound and I saw our baby. And she said, I'm having trouble finding the heartbeat. And she said it's normal, it's no big deal, we'll schedule you to go into the hospital tomorrow to go ahead and check everything. I'm sure everything's fine. It's no big deal. It's happened sometimes. And so that's what we did. I obviously had to go because I was in high school my senior year, so I had school, and I'm pretty sure I had to take off that morning. I did it early in the morning, and I went there. I had him with me, and we were there. They had to use the wand. Amazing wand there is. Just love that uncomfortable feeling. They had to put the wand up to see what they can find that way. It wasn't on top of the stomach. This is the easiest and the best way for them to be able to see baby, all that good stuff. So I was not allowed to see the screen. She had the screen towards her. She muted the sound so I couldn't hear anything. After that, she said, we'll give you a call, all the other stuff. I said, okay, and I just had a sinking feeling. So I went to school, because I'm pretty sure it's about 9 o'clock, so I was almost catching lunch. So I went back to school, and I was waiting for this phone call, and conveniently it happened during lunch. It was about an hour, maybe an hour and a half after I had left there, and I ran straight to the bathroom to take the call, and I went to the bigger bathroom stall, and sure enough, I answered the phone, and she said, I am so sorry, but we could not detect a heartbeat, and what we could find from the ultrasound, the baby had detached from the placenta. So I found out then, and I just went straight to the office, and I had told them I needed to leave because they asked for me to go ahead and come to women's health care so I can get checked out and figure out my next moves, what I should do, this and that. And that's what I did. I had also texted my mom, and they said, oh, what's going on? And I broke down and told them, I lost my baby. I just found out my baby don't have a heartbeat. So, I'm sorry, it's very emotional still. It's something that follows me every day. And with that, I had left. My mom had said, oh, she'll take me wherever I would like to go. And I chose Olive Garden. It's like my favorite go-to place. I love eating Olive Garden. And my mom was like, sure, we'll go there. And I found out she's not a fan of Olive Garden, but she went for me. And so we just pretty much had a date to ourselves. And she just, she just tried to be there for me the best she could. And she was asking me what I would like to do, what I like to see, if my body, like what's going on with my body, why my body hasn't detected that my baby isn't viable anymore. And so I told her, no, I just want my body to do it. But that night, I was so upset because that was August 27th, 2013, when I had found out. And that night, I just couldn't cope. I was just so upset. I couldn't, I told her, I just want my baby out. I just didn't know how long my baby's been in there, just there. So I called her first thing, August 28th in the morning, and she said, let's go to Belleville, I'm pretty sure it's Belleville, which is other women's health care, and we went in there, and what I was pretty much asking is, I'm not sure what the name of it is, but there's a pill to start your labor. And I went in to talk to them to figure out if they felt it was what was best for me. So I went in to talk. I had talked to a doctor. I'm not going to say names, but I was very upset with how I was treated and how she did not respect how I felt. Because mostly what they will do is a DNC. If you don't know what a DNC is, it's what most people would know for like an abortion or such like that, or some way to be able to get anything out of your body that shouldn't be there. So for me, how they felt I should just get the DNC, and that's not how I felt. I felt I wanted my baby to pass naturally and then get the DNC if necessary. I did not, for me, I felt I couldn't handle, it's just the thought of them chopping up my baby, so, or vacuuming it out. It's so disrespectful to me. So, that's what I wanted. I wanted to have my baby naturally. At that time, my mom did not believe I was far enough along to really have, a baby. Like, it wouldn't be visible to the naked eye. But to me, I felt differently. So, when we were there, the doctor had told me that the baby is nothing but chicken fat, so she didn't understand why I wanted to just have the baby come. And she just pretty much was trying to tell me otherwise, and I told her no, I am firm on my decision, that's what I want. And so she had let somebody else go in there to talk to me. And this woman, I wish I remember her name, she was like the main turning point to really give me some hope. She came in there and she said, I'm so sorry for your loss. I know this is hard. She said I had just suffered, I think she said a year prior to, that she had suffered a miscarriage, but farther along. And she told me her story. And with that, she went ahead and she prescribed me the pill. So my mom, at that time, she literally did over and beyond for me at that point, what I was going through. She had went ahead and paid for me and my husband to stay a night at the hotel in Chester. I'm not going to say which hotel, but we went to the hotel, and we just pretty much tried to be as normal as possible. I think we had gotten Casey's Pizza or something, trying to be normal. We were watching, was it The Hangover 3, I think was on, what we were watching, I think, was either that one or two. My mom had told me to apply the pill and a tampon and place it as far as possible towards my cervix. And that was about 9 to 10 o'clock. And within just a few hours, I started to feel very crampy, and she had gotten me some Tylenol, and she left that there for me, whatever I needed. And about 3 o'clock, I was like in a panic state from all the pain. I finally took the medicine, and at that point, it was too long for it to kick in, and I was kind of just hopping up and down in a lot of pain. And next thing I know, I felt my water break. I ran straight to the bathroom, hands cupped, everything. And sure enough, our baby was there. Our baby came out. And what just gets me is, even though how small he was, our little boy looks just like our son now. That's how I feel like everything happens for a reason. So, we had with everything with our baby. We had put him up how we were supposed to. And we went to bed to wait until the morning. My mom was going to come and help clean up any blood or anything, because she knows what to look for. And we went to bed, had the alarm set for 7, and I was laying right next to the alarm, and I slept through it. He finally woke up because my mom was banging on the door. He came over to turn off the alarm, and I looked, and on his shorts was blood. I said, honey, I was like, are you okay? Whatever. I tried to get up. I moved the cover off of the bed at the hotel, and all of the sheets and everything was just soaked in blood, and I felt so faint, so dizzy. He helped me off the bed. My mom came in. She already had all the cleaning stuff. She was ready to go. She stripped the bed, put everything in the bath, and she asked to see our baby. And she was apologizing for, she felt like she was being insincere when she thought, the baby wasn't far enough along to know it's a baby. So at that time, we had cleaned up everything. We signed out of the hotel, and we went and had our burial with our baby. We went to McDonald's, we grabbed something to eat, and we went to the bridge to try to eat, and he wanted to get out for a minute, out of the car, and I had gotten up out of the car and I bled through my pants onto the seat of the car, and I told him, no, I have to go, I need to call women's health care as soon as possible. I had called them and they said to come in right away. I got there, and like most pregnant women know, there is a clamp that they use to open up your cervix so they can see inside your cervix. And whenever I had to strip down so that they can do what they needed to do, I was bleeding all on the floor. They had put a puppy pad down on the bedding and on the floor of the step, and I had gotten on there, and she went ahead and put the clamp in, and she was asking me, now that I had done everything I had wanted, did I want to go ahead and go through with the D&C, or did I want my body to do it naturally? For me, I said, well, what's the best option for me? She said to do it naturally, and she stopped mid-sentence, and she said, you need to go to the ER as soon as possible. She said, I'm afraid, you know, you're hemorrhaging, you're going to bleed to death. She's like, you need to go to the hospital. So they gave me a towel to put in my pants because I was bleeding that much, and I had to run to the hospital. When I got there, my best friend got there, my mom got there, and they had finally took us back to the room. I had to take the towel out of my pants, strip down, put the gown on, and they said that I won't remember anything once I leave the room. I literally remember just leaving the room on the stretcher, or the bedding, whatever. And when I came to, everything was over. I have my bracelets from that time. I have from the hospital band right here. It was October 29th, 2013, whenever I had our first baby. And this is my band for the hospital for when I had to have surgery. And then after all this happened, I realized I couldn't stand not being a mother. It was what I felt was what I needed, even though our first baby wasn't planned. So with the second baby, we did try. I know you can't replace your first, but for me, I just felt like I just needed just at least one baby. That's all I needed. So in October, I had found out I was pregnant, and again, I thought everything was fine, nothing to worry about. You know, miscarriages do happen. And again, it was just a normal day. This was Halloween. We were perfectly happy on Halloween, and I just had a dreading feeling on Halloween, and even though Halloween's like my favorite holiday. So November 1st, during the morning, we were heading to my dad's. He lived in Anna Jonesboro at the time. So we're heading there, and before we got to Anna Jonesboro, I started feeling some very, very sharp pain, and I started freaking out. I had him pull over. I got out and I was screaming because I looked at my pants, and sure enough, there was blood. So that time, we just turned around and we went straight to the ER, and then they sent me to St. Elizabeth in Belleville. And at that point, I had already passed the baby. And again, I have a bracelet for that time. It's 11/1/2013. Obviously, I don't have an ultrasound picture for our second baby because I wasn't far enough along. But I just wanted to share just a little bit. If anybody else has went through what I have went through, I would really appreciate, you know, just talking it out, because it's just really hard. I'm still living with it, and it's been 4 years. And even though I have my 2 beautiful and healthy children, it's still hard. Because no matter what, even though they weren't here, even though I couldn't hold them, they were still my babies. But I appreciate you guys taking your time to listen to my story. I really hope that I can at least be there for anybody else who might be going through the same thing as I went through. And I just really do wish the best to everybody, and my heart goes out to anybody who has had any sort of loss, whether before the baby is here, after, or stillborn, whatever. I am here to talk to you, and I think that's it for this video, and I will talk to you Wednesday. I hope you guys all the best, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.